Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome. I am the Crypto Crow. First thing we're going to do today is just kind of look at a Bitcoin chart, just to get a bit of an idea as to what may or may not be happening. It's early for me, and it's a Monday. Let me just say, I've been doing the semaglutide shot. Got a higher dose last Tuesday, and it just wrecked me. I mean, it absolutely wrecked me. I was just exhausted, struggling. And it's starting to wear off, and I'm starting to feel a little better. Weighing less than I have in the last, 3 years. I will say that. Probably even more. I think I fought at 285, and I'm 284 right now, and that was 11 years ago, to put that into perspective. So I'm definitely losing, but boy, does this stuff wreck me sometimes, depending on the dose. So keep that in mind if you're ever considering it. You got to be careful. Chances are, if you try it, the recommended dose is probably going to be too high starting out. So anyway, looking at Bitcoin, we're looking at Bitcoin right now on a weekly chart, and this is a log scale, just to kind of get rid of the noise. And I'm just going to keep this very simple. As of right now, so many indications are saying we've bottomed, the bottom is in, we're heading up, maybe we go up and sideways for a while until the halving, which is this purple line here. All of you guys that watch me know, I basically said, listen, I think that this is basically a bear market rally. We're going to turn around. We're going to crash down and probably see a new low. However, I very much could be wrong. And in that case, I have begun averaging in just to be on the safer side, because the reality is, even if Bitcoin were to reach, let's say we go and we either test or we close above this 200 weekly moving average, which is generally a sign that, the bear market is over. We're going to start going up and sideways for a while until we get to the halving. Even if that were to happen, if I'm averaging in, I'm still increasing my position over time. And in this time, we are going to have significant retracements. Okay. I personally don't think we're going to have that yet. I do believe we're going to very likely go down more. Even if we were to touch on this 200 weekly moving average and retrace from there, maybe we don't get a new low, but the price is obviously still going to come back down. And maybe it came back down to 18.5 or 19,000 or even 17. It doesn't really matter. My plan personally from this point forward is to start averaging in almost every day. And then if the price does reach a new low, I go all in for the rest of it. I mean, that's basically where my head is. Not saying that's what you should do. That's just what my personal plan is as we move forward, because it could go up, retrace back down, hit somewhere in 18s or so. And at which point I'm continuing to average in. And like I said, maybe we go up and we bounce off of this 200 weekly moving average, come back down, and then break above it, and maybe the whole thing plays out over the course of a few weeks. I originally predicted that the bear market low for this market would happen sometime in January or late February. That was what I projected quite a while ago. Maybe that doesn't happen. But regardless, I think the prices are so low, and there's still so much to come. I mean, there's a lot of stuff happening in the world. Let's be real about it. And there's a lot of uncertainty in the markets, the S&P 500 and the DXY and all of that. We could look at all of that, but it all tells the same picture, the same story. And I'm just still not convinced that the bottom is officially in, but I don't want to miss out, because let's face it, let's say I were to get into Cardano. Cardano's currently trading something like 36, 37 cents after it had a low of in the 20s. I didn't buy in the 20s. Okay. And I'm like, ooh, darn, I should have, but I didn't. And now we're in the 30s. Maybe we get back down there. I'm assuming we are going to go lower than we are right now. We might get a little pump up first, but if we do get lower, I want to make sure that I'm getting in and I'm accumulating, because the difference between 30 cents and 20 cents, while pretty significant, obviously, it's basically a third. So you could increase your overall accumulation by a third at those prices. I think it'll ultimately all average out pretty well over the next year if I'm just averaging in and assuming that we don't hit a new bottom. If we hit a new bottom, I'm all in. And that's all she wrote. I'm not waiting for anything else. If we just hit a new low, I am going to go deeper all at once. So it is what it is. But I just wanted to make sure that I made that point clear so that everybody understands where my head is, because I get asked a lot. Cardano developer reveals true reason why Hbar has 59 million transactions. Now, I've always been one to actually kind of like Hedera Hashgraph, Hbar. It is a unique twist on a decentralized ledger. And, the way they do things is very much different from most. And it gets a lot of hype about its transactional throughput. And I thought, well, I saw this and I'm like, okay, this is the other shoe dropping. Because here's the thing. Hbar has really never done exceedingly well in the market. And I don't know if it's because of a lack of marketing or a lack of milestones or a lack of flash and trash. I don't really know. But when I first discovered it, hell, I think this was out from like 2017. And I thought, well, this looks really cool. But I never got into it. And I can't remember exactly why. I think it was the wallet. I think the wallet at the time, for whatever reason, kept me out. And I never got in, and well, good enough for me. It just didn't do well. Maybe that was a barrier for everybody. I don't know. But the developer of the popular blockchain visualizer on CardanoUTXO.org, Peter Oravec, debunked a popular misconception about Cardano's low number of transactions on the blockchain compared to smaller alternative networks like Hbar. According to the original post, the support of the Hbar network shares eye-catching data. The relatively young network, Hbar, seems to have almost the exact same number of transactions as Cardano, which has been running in the industry since 2017. This is a quote from Twitter. Your stats are misleading. 99.6% of Hbar transactions are just consensus messages. Cardano doing 10 times more real transactions, and it's permissionless. Anyone can be a stake pool operator without asking anyone. Open source, not patented. Low HW requirements, fully decentralized. It's another win case to me as Cardano stacks up against the competition. However, it's too early to make any assumptions. The stats anyone can see on the Hbar blockchain Explorer are misleading, says the developer. More than 99% of all transactions on that network are consensus messages and have nothing to do with real network usage. Compared to Hbar, Cardano is making 10 times more real transactions and remains permissionless, hence more decentralized. The consensus messages that correspond to most Hbar's transactions are not actually tied to value transfers, which is why they cannot be considered real transactions. And, another note that I see a lot of people make that I forget to make quite often is, there's so much stuff that can be stuffed into one Cardano transaction. It's not like every little element is broken down into its own transaction. So you can send a bulk of data all at once from different things all at the same time, and it's still considered one transaction on Cardano. So that's an extremely powerful thing to consider when you're looking at its transactions per second, because it's almost irrelevant when it comes to Cardano to a certain degree. And again, when you take that and then you add that to all of the new functionality associated with Hydra that I just cannot wait to come out and kick things into high gear, I'm very much excited about that. But yeah, this is probably a big reason why, and there's a lot of other stuff related to Hbar that have rubbed me and many others the wrong way. And I'm not saying that it can't perform and it's not going to do anything, but we've seen through this last market cycle that Hbar just wasn't grabbed by anyone. It didn't capture the attention of the majority. It didn't capture really much of anything, if I'm honest, which is kind of sad. And I see, there are people on TikTok that I really like, who love Hbar, and more power to them. I'm not trying to shut them down or do anything like that. For me personally, I'm going to stick with Cardano, because anytime you try and match something up against Cardano ends up with the knockout blow and then keeps pushing on to bigger and better things. And to each their own, though. I always say passion to profit. If you're passionate about something, it's likely others are too, and hopefully you'll share in the same successes, but you could also share in the same failures. Look at Solana. So moving forward, there was a little bit of a glitch, a little issue. Cardano network roars back to life as developers fix brief node outage in just minutes. This is a pretty big deal, honestly, but it's not. Yesterday, Cardano suffered an outage. With multiple stake pool operators reporting that at least 50% of the network's nodes went offline over the weekend. According to a Telegram post by Input Output Global, the development firm behind the Cardano blockchain, the anomaly happened at approximately 9 UTC between two blocks on Sunday, causing approximately 50% of the Cardano nodes to disconnect and restart. Developers pointed the outage to a transient anomaly affecting nodes, noting that while it impacted relay and block producing nodes, edge nodes were unaffected. This appears to have been triggered by a transient anomaly, causing one of two reactions in the node. Some disconnected from a peer, others threw an exception and restarted, the post read. The incident caused a brief interruption in the production of new blocks, resulting in some nodes becoming out of sync with the rest of the network. Nodes are network stakeholders responsible for processing and validating transactions. They are essential to the health and upkeep of any blockchain network. According to the developers, such transient issues, even if they were to affect all nodes, were considered in the design of the Cardano node and consensus. This is one thing that if you're developing a blockchain, especially a blockchain as decentralized as Cardano for global use case, this is why things take a little longer than some of these other crap tokens that just throw a bunch of crap to the wall and see what sticks and just try to patch the holes later. They consider everything in Cardano's development. That's also a big reason why, peer review reports and peer review studies in blockchain development are important, because you're getting all these different minds working together to solve problems before it's developed, not after a problem has arisen. So this is a testament to Cardano's development, quite frankly, even though somebody will, well, something went wrong. Well, something goes wrong with almost every one of these blockchains, especially when you're talking about the throughput and the transactions and just everything that these blockchains are capable of doing. And like I've always said, we're still in the infancy of blockchain. So this doesn't bother me at all. And if anything, it gives me some reassurance that even though there was an issue, it didn't shut down the network. Transactions still went through. It just got bogged down a bit, and ultimately the network healed itself. So, and I think this will go into it. I watched Charles talking all about it as well, and I was like, yeah, that's amazing. Notably, they noted the systems behaved exactly as expected, which explains the short period before the network recovery. It's software, bugs happen. But it appears that Cardano's design allows for things of this nature to happen, and the blockchain will simply restart itself to keep going. This is what decentralized and smart software design are about. No point of failure, no single point of failure. And although the network sync had recovered almost 100% at noon on Monday, the IOG team promised to conduct further investigations into the incident and implement further logging measures alongside their regular monitoring procedures. So it looks pretty good to me, honestly. The network didn't shut down. It just got a little bogged down. So yeah, Cardano finally launches sidechain toolkit. Here is what's changed. This is the final article I'm going to touch on right now. After weeks of teasing, the Cardano blockchain network has finally announced the launch of its sidechain toolkit. As announced by IOG, the software company tasked with the development of the Cardano protocol, the new sidechain toolkit will create a wealth of new possibilities for all stakeholders within its ecosystem. The startup highlighted the core benefits that the new sidechain will produce, and these include enhanced revenue streams for stake pool operators and delegators, as well as the introduction of new platforms for more innovation and custom-built solutions. I'm pretty pumped about this. The IO's sidechain toolkit will create a wealth of new possibilities, from more revenue streams for SPOs, yay, and delegators, yay, to new platforms for more innovation and custom built solutions. I love it. I absolutely love it. The Cardano protocol is a proof of stake network that typically places a huge premium on how functional its network can be. With the aim of being the most used blockchain protocol ahead of Ethereum, Cardano has paid serious attention to the consistent improvement and upgrading of its network. And for those of you that don't have one yet, you might want to go out and grab yourself a Murder of Crow NFT for no real reason other than you like the art and you support what I do. And it's just a real fun, cool way of just basically supporting me and everything I'm building right now, such as my SoBlock social media platform that's about to get a big update. And I've been seeing screenshots of how the new SoBlocks platform is going to look, and it's going to be pretty good. And I will say that when the new SoBlocks update does come, we're probably going to be opening it up to the public from there, because right now you can only get access and post and start generating block tokens on our internal ledger system if you hold either a Murder of Crows or a SoBlocks governance token on your ADA wallet. And SoBlocks does check for that. So you can get in now if you want. If you just have a Murder of Crows NFT, big updates coming, and it's looking good. And so is the mobile version that my developer has going. So pretty excited about that. 16 minutes in. Listen, have a fantastic day. I hope this week finds you busy and accomplished and well. I'm definitely going to be trying to make it a push for this week to try and focus on some other projects in the Cardano ecosystem, as well as, of course, the Cardano news that you can use. And I know I'm going to be doing something with Metaverse Mona here at some point this week. We were going to do something Friday, and then that got pushed to Sunday. A lot of that was my fault. My wife competed in Miami this past weekend and did exceedingly well. I couldn't have been more proud. It was a big salsa contest called the Summit, and my wife just did really, really well. She's like the only one that wore like a full body one-piece suit and rocked that shiz, and just did so amazingly well. I'm not going to lie. I spent the most of the day in tears yesterday, completely full of pride. And it's probably why I'm a little drained today. It was such an emotional day watching her. I watched it all live stream on YouTube. At some point, I'm going to download that thing. I'm going to cut up a video specifically for my wife, and I hope you don't mind, but I'm going to show the world right here on this channel, and I hope you guys enjoy it, because I sure as hell did. And so did my daughter and everyone else that was watching it with us. So yeah, until next time, guys, crow your coins. I'll see you again very soon.